Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain. Alright, so for this one, it brings us back into Necropolis to finish off our final part of the Necro 1. So as you see, we have all the yellow ones here. Once you've completed all four around the outside and turn them in, this is actually very important. If you re-pick up one of those quests, it won't actually let you continue. You'll have to go back and recomplete that. So you got to actually have completed all four and not repick them up. Once you've done that, you can actually talk to Lore Mistress Gina to pick up the final part, which is Bloody Crypt here, which is the center one. Now, with each of these center quests, and I will touch this on this again in each one, um, you can't. These are great experience quests and actually quests that I normally farm. Now, in order to farm them, you can't just do this normally, as if you are on your own, you have to do each of the four quests to unlock the middle one. Once you complete the middle one, it won't let you pick it up until you re-talk to Lore Mistress Gina, which can reset the whole arc, and then you got to go back and recomplete all four of the quests on the outside. So it is a big process if you want to complete it that way. However, if you have somebody in your party who either has the quest but did not step in, it'll allow you to just keep stepping in and go on and go on. It's called red boxing the quest. Another way to do it, if you are in a group of people, you have one person pick it up, and you can do it on Reaper, Elite, or whatever difficulty you feel comfortable on. And then once you've left, you can actually have the second person come pick it up, and then you can rerun it again on a different difficulty or the same one if you're wanting, and you can keep doing this as many times as you have people in the group who haven't picked it up. And the last method is actually called window farming, and now this is the most common method. What they do is they pick a difficulty and they step in and they complete the quest. Now, in order to do a window farm, you do need multiple people. And the way you do it is, once you complete the quest, you have one person remain inside the quest. You have the other person come out and just click the door, bringing up the window. Now, the difficulty will be locked on whatever difficulty you ran it on, because that person is still inside. Then, while your window is still up, this thing here, that you would let them know that I have the window. They would at that point recall out of the quest. Once they have left, your window will still be up. However, if there's nobody left in the quest, nobody else will be able to click the door to bring up the window. It will simply say, you are not on this chapter, you are not bestowed this quest. But the person who still has this window up can actually select enter to re-enter the quest on whatever difficulty, like the difficulty is locked on whatever difficulty you've completed it on, but it will reset and re-let you back in. And then everyone else would then just turn around. Now that the quest is active, they would be able to select the door and come on in. So that is the most common method there in order to, run this quest multiple times. And the reason people love running it multiple times, especially with the party, is the amount of experience. Like, look at that. That's 21,000 XP to start. So it is a phenomenal amount. I hit this one every time, but it is a bit of a longer quest. So I definitely recommend, if you are to do this, get a good group, one that isn't afraid of splitting up, as there's 4 paths to take in total. Each path is a fairly long path. So without a good, group that can solo this, it can take a bit of time. So I'm going to do my best to speed this up and go as quickly as I can. Of course, not stopping, or of course stopping to make sure I get all the bonuses here. I'm just hoping I don't miss any of the breakables along the way and have to come back. As of course that does make it quite a bit longer of a quest. So the first bit, it doesn't matter what side you go down. Of course, you want to go down both. And then ultimately, it brings you to the shrine rooms. Right there. Alright. From this room here, we want to head inside. And clear the room. Now there are a lot of large groups to this quest, so I will be making use very much of our turret. So once you've killed everybody, it unlocks these levers. Now there are 4 levers in here. You need to pull all 4. There's the east ones and the west ones. So the east ones, there are 2. West ones, there are 2. Each one you need to pull 2 levers to open up our doorway. So we're going to start with this. So these are the 2 levers you pull, open up like this path here. So there's a lot of, like, it does just repeat a lot in this quest. So yeah, each path is basically the exact same carbon copy. So what it is, you're going to proceed down your side. Let's just drop a turret here. Alright. So this is where on this side it'll split off. Alright. So we can either go left or right. Ultimately we have to go both paths. So I'm just going to start with the north one here. Okay. Along the way, you will see a lot of these little treasure chests just randomly strewn throughout. Feel free to stop and grab them. None of them are trapped or anything like that. I'm just not stopping because it takes a little bit longer. Like, the quest is already fairly long. I might actually, depending on how long it takes, only be able to get to this one quest today. Again, just due to the length of the quest, as well as there's some explanation after the quest with all those scarabs that we were picking up throughout this entire chain. I want to go through and show you guys what those are used for now that we're going to be picking up our last part here. Alright, now before we actually get into, because each one actually has like a little circular spiral kind of thing. Before you get into each one, they do have a path that leads down. It might either be to a shrine or just down into a big open room. Either way, it'll be similar. It was actually hurt. Got 3 stacks that bleed. There we go. So this one here is the one with a shrine. Now the reason there's two reasons to come down here. One, shrine, sometimes they're breakables, but as well there can actually be named enemies in these rooms here. We didn't unfortunately get that named one, but there are still 3 more times that we can get a name, so you know, of course we're gonna go for it. So here we are. So we are in the side of the Crimson Heart. Now in each path there will also be 3 priests. So So there's the mention that we're going down the Crimson Path. Each side again has 3 priests, um, and there is an optional to kill the 3 priests on each side. So again, more potential for even just more experience to come out of here. Generally speaking, on a first run through, so for myself, the first time I run this through with a party, I will stop to get all the breakables, make sure I get conquest, and all of that. But on subsequent runs, I generally skip the breakables, skip a lot of the killing, just running past, waiting for it to despawn, rubber band back. The only ones I will still stop to kill are the priests, because it does still award XP themselves. And at a decent amount of experience, considering. And what I'll do is I'll just run past, drop turrets, and let the turrets just annihilate everything. If they happen to run back too far and rubber band, well, now they're right next to my turret again. And I'll just keep doing that. Alright. Alright. So each path will have 2 sets of levers. So as you'll see here, I'm just going to go back up. First off, when you first enter, everything's got this black haze. It is an impassable barrier. For situations like these priests, however, you can attack and damage through the barrier. Though as the priests can heal, it generally is a little bit tougher to kill them. He might just let us, though. Yeah, he's not even trying. So you can just, sometimes kill them. Sometimes it won't let you. There's also other enemies in here. Now I'm just going to drop that turret there. So down here, we have a lever. This lever, it is locked until you kill the enemies inside the room. There it is. Here, click. So then once everyone's dead, you can pull the lever, which drops down that black little hazy barrier. Then it also has enemies inside here. Once everyone here is dead, you'll hear another click. We might have been just too far, and our Crimson Lock will unlock. We need to light these torches. That is to open up, and we've completed this side. Now essentially we have to go back and we got to do this 3 more times, 1 for each side. This is where splitting up the party becomes real handy. If you've got 2 people, have someone, take the east side, and then east side, and then someone take the west side. Or if you have 4 people, you got the northeast, southeast, northwest, and southwest, and you can just really bust out this quest actually really, really quickly. I think the fastest I've actually gotten this one done and completed was about 11 minutes was the fastest I was able to get it done. Which, when you stop to think about it, we got 30,000 experience in 11 minutes. It was just absolutely phenomenal. And the location of these random spawning chests, again, like this one here as well, they are random. So it's not always going to be in that exact position. Alright. one champion priest inside. Okay. Alright. So again, once they all die, pull the lever, it unlocks. Now, we got a green alert because I never actually did go through and clear the rest of it, so it is spawning a little bit more than, as well as a couple of creepers. Oh man. But again, this is where, you know, like an RD is real good with this turret. Alright, so I'm just going to call a hireling. So as you can see, you know, we're already at 135 kills. We've only made it essentially halfway. So there's still a good ways to go. I'm just going to make sure we grab the rest of the breakables on this side. Alright, so that is this half. So now that we've gotten everything on this half, if you do have access to Dimension Door, now would be when you'd want to use it. Because I unfortunately do not have access to that spell, I do have to run all the way back here. But yeah, it is like I said, if you are solo, it's a very long quest. But again, if you have groups, like you see how fast I'm able to clear one section. So if there was, you know, 3 more of me, each one could take their own section, be super easy. Ooh. Got a bunch of these guys. There's our first bonus. Sometimes they'll set up these little ambush spots in these rooms, and they'll just have like a horde of the little ghasts. I saw a couple of hidden figures. I thought that was one of the random spawn like hordes. Fortunately, it was not. I like them because those ghouls, they don't have a large amount of hit points. They're kind of like paper people, as it were. They die real easy with the turret, but, you know, there's a lot of them. So if you don't have access to something like a turret or any type of AoE, it could take a little bit of, you know, hit point damage there. Alright, here's a nice little group of them there. So as you can see, they only got about 100, you know, 30, 120 hit points. nothing crazy. Okay, so we're almost done on this side here. There's our next tier. Sweet. Alright, so now all that's left is to go down there and pull our lever, and then come back up here and head on the inside. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk using the turret there rather than coming this way. Yeah, we do have a horde of these carrion feeders, but small amount of hit point. I think I can deal with killing a little bit of guys. Alright. So there we go. Let's see who's beating on the turret. Alright, there we go. That is now 3 of the 4, just 1 more to go. As you can see, we still are only at aggression, but we are at almost our ransack here. So once you've completed all 4, generally speaking, you'll only have onslaught and then ransack. The trick to go from onslaught to conquest is actually one that I'll show you here when we get to the end room. It is a method that a lot of people use, so I do want to make you guys aware of it once we get to that part there. Okay. Alright, here's our other shrine room here. And I am seeing a chest, which does mean that we do have one of the named guys. There he goes. And I'm not going to worry about his chest, because again, they don't actually spawn in anything there. Alright. So here we go. Just make sure I grab those breakables. And there we go. So we don't actually need any more of the breakables, so I'm not too worried about them now at this point. We do, however, still have another priest to deal with, though. just right there. So while that's going on, I'm going to summon my hireling. That way I can get a top-up heal there. Alright, there we go. There is our last lock. Alright, so from here, all there's left to do is head towards the end room. As you see, we just got Onslaught. We have Ransack, but we don't have our Conquest yet. So the big trick for this one actually involves an endless spawning end room. Now, until you step into the end room itself, it doesn't actually start the fight with the boss. So if you stay just on the outside of that end room, the guys will keep spawning and will keep coming at you. However, they won't, it won't activate the end fight yet. And if you do happen to step in, and don't worry about killing that end boss, as until you do some specific things, he actually is invincible. Oh, and I think I made, no, I'm still going the right way. Alright. So first I'll show you the method that a lot of people use here. You'll come up to right about here. If you got any turrets or anything, cast them down. That way you got that bonus working for you. And they just sit in the one spot here, kind of all gathering up on one another. You do have a shrine right behind us, but until we step into this room, our end boss, which is Brother Salazzo, who is a vampire, he doesn't actually become activated. So you can essentially sit here endlessly if you really want to get these white kills. And yeah, there's literally no end to them. Now the amount of kills that you require in order to get Conquest, with a lot of quests, it is just like a static number. So like, say for example, you need 86 to get this amount, to get Conquest. This quest, I've noticed, it actually fluctuates. I've seen it go get Conquest as low as 240, and I think I might have even seen it lower than that, but as high as all the way up to 300. So pretty much any time now we could technically get our Conquest. I'm not exactly sure what the contributing factor for how many you need is. I just know that it can fluctuate. So the amount of time that you need to sit here, sometimes 2 minutes, sometimes 5, 10. It really does depend. Because one, we're already hard capped and a little bit past on XP, we're not actually going to get any experience from this quest itself, so I'm not really worried about that for myself. I do, however, want to show you the amount. So right now it is saying 23,000 on the XP awarded. If it does pop up with the daily completion, I will ignore that for now, just because that doesn't always pop up on the report until you complete the quest. But I'll just stop it here at the XP awarded upon adventure completion. Alright, so while we're here, I can also explain, around the outside edge, as you see there are... Let's focus on you first. Let's back up a touch, calling you. Around the outside edge, on a total of 4 floors, we have a whole bunch of sarcophagi lining the walls. So here's the bloody coffins. Oh, another one. And what we essentially have to do, inside one of them, they actually have the vampire's heart. Now, in order to complete, we have to actually track down and find that heart and destroy it. Now, there are two ways to actually go about doing that. The first is you can actually just click on every box. Um, but as you can imagine, you know, randomly spawning in on one of the floors, there's 4 floors total, it takes a bit of time. So my method, because I am a trapper, I have high skills, as well as fairly high stats for my character as well. I am able to run around the outside edge. If I walk next to them, what it will do, and you'll see it when we get to that point. Oh, we are at conquest here. So once we step in, they'll have a little conversation, and then the vampire will become active, and here he is. So as you can see right now, we do 0 damage to him. Until we touch the heart, that won't change. So what I'll do is I'll come to the back right here at the bottom, and again I just run right past them, making sure to walk next to them, checking all of the bottom floor here. So it wasn't any of those. I'll come up to the next floor and run past. So again, you can click them, it'll say the coffin is empty, if it is empty. Alright, so it's not that one. Next floor. Or next side. So one of them here, it will say the stones at your feet are worn smooth, meaning he comes to this one often. So it's not that one, so it'll be the one at the top. All we do is click on it. We found it. There we go. There are like 3 different cues that it can bring up. It might say, like I have the stones are worn smooth. If you have a good listen skill, it might say you hear the beating, the thudding of the heart. There are a few different paths. Once you click the heart, you can actually shoot him and kill him. From that point, all you need to do is select the book on the altar here, and that completes. So as you see, total XP awarded that. We got 31,000 experience out of this quest. This chest here, it can have some named items as well. You want to grab that bloody scarab, which I will show you what they do for after. And because this is the final part of chain 1, they will also have these ritual altars inside. Now remember at the beginning when we had chosen either the silver flame trinket or the, shoot, I don't even know what the emerald claw trinket. So that'd be this thing here. You can actually bring it to these altars here. And if you interact, it will convert it from a trinket to an amulet here, giving you negative energy absorption, 1 tier. So I do want to lock that down. And then each one that you go to, you got to go to an order. So this was Necro 1. We had to do this one first for the necklace. Then you do Necro 2. Again, you got to do that one before you can do number 3. And it goes through like that. You can, of course, XP wise, skip it. You can just jump straight to Necro 2, not having to do Necro 1 at all in order to do Necro 2. But if you want to get that trinket upgraded, you do got to go number 1 to number 2 to number 3, and so on. Once you're done, all that's left is to turn in. I will go a little bit longer in this video because I do want to show you what those dusts are good for. So here's our turn in. You want to talk, pick up. Now notice how her cup is blue. If we go through and start replaying number 1, like the first chain now, so these 4 around the outside, when we come back to talk to her, it won't do anything. What'll happen is when you talk to her, you gotta actually select this option, repeat the quest, like the arc. This will reset the entire quest chain, resetting the quest. If you do not reset this, any progress you make in order to run it a second time will not count. So I do just want to stress that enough. If you do are planning on running it again, I know for myself, because I generally, like, I'll be an opener for quests for people. So, like I was talking before we ran that, I'll go through and I'll complete all 4 of the quests. And I'll just pick up Bloody Crypt. That way, if any of my friends or anybody like that is needing the assistance in order to get into Bloody Crypt, I will be able to just join their party, and they'll be able to just step right into the quest without actually having to go through that hassle themselves. So that is something that I generally often do, and do that there. Alright, so there are 2 places that we can go to convert these scarabs. Um, but either way, you do need to go to a Stone of Change. So the main place that there is a Stone of Change, when we're done lagging here, is you can put one on the cargo hold of your ship. Man, were we getting some lag. Just loading in the market the first time here. And the other place is always here by the Marketplace Bank. They have one right here. So I do have a whole bunch of scarabs here. C-A-R-A-B. As you can see, I do have a lot from all the other ones. We'll go through them as we're getting to those, because I don't know if I have all the parts to each one. So for this first one here, we need a twitching scarab, a ruddy scarab, a crimson scarab, a charred scarab, and then finally a bloody scarab. So as you can see with the numbers of them there, I do run Necro 1 a lot, as you see 41s, and then Bloody Crypt 154. So what you actually want to do is place all of these 5 inside the Stone of Change. And once you place that in there, I'm actually going to create a couple of them. It will create a eerie powder here. So this one is our scarlet powder. As you see, I do have one from one of the other ones. This is from the cursed crypt one. But the one I just wanted to make here is a couple of these scarlet scarab powders. Alright. So now that we have the scarlet scarab powder, and when we do the other quests there, like Necro 2 and then Necro 3, I will go back and remake them and show you those scarab powders at that point. As well, I will also... It's not letting me... Oh, there we go. As well, I will also do a separate side video just going over all these little extras, such as favor turn-ins, the rewards for that as well. I haven't actually turned in any of my favor yet. I want to wait until I get a nice chunk on all of them, and then I can do one video showing them all. Alright, so we want to head back to House Viarlan so that we can go back into Necropolis. Okay. So yeah, just due to the length of this video, I do believe this is only going to be my only video for today. We're hitting at just about 40 minutes, so that's quite a bit longer than most of my other videos here that we've been posting for our DDO playthrough. Alright. So once we do that, we have this guy sitting right here who is a scarab collector. So I was able to get the scarab dust. He asked you which one. We wanted the scarlet. So this is Necro 1. This will be Necro 2. This will be Necro 3. But what we're going to do here, so he does have a few of these items here, and this is why I wanted to make a couple. That way I can actually get them all. And I think it's because it's in my bag. Scarlet scarab powder. Scarlet Scarab Powder. So yeah, it's because it wasn't in my thing. It doesn't read it from inside of the bag. So, Lunatics, Limericks Longbow, Scarlet, and the Touch of Silver Flame. Alright, so now that we have all of them there, I'm going to just move that there. So these are our 3 items that you can get. So the first here is a Trinket, which gives you lesser undead guard. So any undead that attack you, it does 1 to 8 damage on them. This one here, Signal of the Silver Flame, it gives you lesser turning. Turning attempts you can use, it gives you 2 more. And then finally you have Lumric's Longbow. Now this one actually is a nice little longbow for its level. It is level 4, and it does give you, it is a +3 ghost touch with a red augment slot. Now most of these items that you get here, they aren't the greatest from these dusts. They are very outdated. At the time when this content had come out, they were fairly useful, very powerful items. But again, like you look at what I'm wearing now, symbol of the slave lords, like it's just well overpowered in comparison to when they hit me, they take 1d8 damage. Like it's not even a comparison to what these ones do here. All right. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. It's been a blast through Necro 1. We'll hit Necro 2, when we get to that level range. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one, all.